In any relationship, emotional abuse can be just as damaging as physical abuse, yet it often goes unnoticed or unaddressed. When it comes to marriage, the dynamics of power and control can sometimes manifest in subtle ways, leaving one partner feeling belittled, manipulated, or constantly on edge. While society often focuses on abusive husbands, emotional abuse can also come from wives, although it may be less acknowledged or understood. Understanding the signs of emotional bullying is crucial for maintaining a healthy and respectful relationship. Here are some signs that your wife could be an emotional bully. Constant criticism. Belittling remarks or nitpicking constantly about your looks, actions, or decisions can be a sign of emotional bullying. Constructive criticism is a normal part of any relationship, but it can be a sign of emotional bullying if it is done repeatedly. In the event that your wife consistently uses her words to make you feel insufficient or worthless, this should serve as a warning sign. Control and manipulation. Emotional bullies often seek to control every aspect of their partner's life, from their social interactions to their finances. They may use manipulation tactics such as guilt-tripping, gaslighting, or threatening behavior to get their way and maintain power in the relationship. For regulating spouses, it's not enough to attempt to control what you say and do. Additionally, if your wife is a manipulative emotional bully, she will make sure you wear exactly what she wants you to. Having said that, this control is not always consistent and might throw you off. Even now, she strives to act like the people she saw as a child. Since she is unable to express herself in any other way, she will resort to starting fights whenever things aren't up to her standards. Isolation. When someone is emotionally abusive toward their partner, one of their strategies is to cut them off from their friends, family, and other support systems. It is possible that they will discourage you from spending time with loved ones or instigate arguments in order to drive a gap between you and your social circle, with the end result being that you will feel dependent and alone. It is the art of an abuser to create a world in which you doubt both yourself and the reality that you are experiencing. Frequently, this is accompanied by financial bullying within the marriage. In situations like that, you find that you no longer have full control over your financial situation. Emotional blackmail. It is an indication of emotional abuse and manipulation if your wife routinely uses emotional blackmail to achieve what she wants, such as threatening to leave or harm herself if you do not comply with her requests. This is an example of emotional blackmail or emotional abuse. No one should ever feel pressured into satisfying the requirements of their spouse through the use of threats or ultimatums. Lack of empathy. Emotional bullies frequently lack empathy for their partner's feelings and needs, despite the fact that empathy is a crucial component throughout any good partnership. If they disregard your feelings, downplay your experiences, or show little concern for your well-being, you will be left with the impression that you are not significant and that your feelings are not valid. Blame shifting. In the event that disagreements emerge, emotional bullies have a tendency to place blame on their spouse, refusing to accept responsibility for their own acts or mistakes. It is possible that they will manipulate the story in order to make you feel guilty or at fault for their actions, which will further undermine your self-esteem and diminish your confidence. Stonewalling. Sometimes it feels like you're speaking to a brick wall when your wife is an emotional bully. This one is an attempt to devalue your feelings and make you feel like she doesn't care enough to give you her full attention. Because it makes use of your emotions, or lack thereof, to attempt to control your feelings, stonewalling is a form of interpersonal bullying. Gaslighting. If your wife is emotionally abusive, you may find yourself in a state of denial, unable to tell reality from fiction. As a tactic, gaslighting involves the abuser changing the way the victim remembers or interprets events. Gaslighting is when someone manipulates you into believing that your feelings and words are false and that everything you've been through was all an illusion, even though it was true. You begin to wonder whether you're losing your mind. Insincere apologies. Creative apologies are one of the perplexing indicators that your wife may be an emotional bully. Many people may shower you with presents and compliments, but you should be cautious because they may turn around and use them against you. Saying something like, "I gave you all those things, and you do nothing for me," is an example of a complaint. This is known as love bombing in the field of psychology. In more technical terms, it's used by narcissists, people with poor self-esteem, neurotic attachment styles, or by abusive wives who bully their husbands. All in all, love bombing is a control and dominance tool used by emotional bullies. Little time for solitude. In the event that your wife is an emotional bully, she will reject your limits and the fact that you require personal time and space. This is due to the fact that she harbors a deep-seated fear that you may become aware of what is taking place, which would result in you leaving. Low self-esteem is a common cause of bullying, according to one study. This may help to explain why a spouse who requests time alone could be considered a potential threat to the relationship. At the end of the day, a domineering wife will automatically assume that her husband does not want to be with them. Emotional roller coaster. When you are living with someone who is an emotional bully, it can feel like you are riding an emotional roller coaster, with highs of phony affection and lows of harsh criticism or fury. As a result of their frequent mood swings and unexpected conduct, you may find yourself feeling on edge all the time and having to walk on eggshells in order to avoid conflict. Passive-aggressive. Because the bully is unable to verbalize their feelings, passive-aggressive behavior is a common indicator of emotional bullying. Rather than expressing themselves honestly and openly, the bully keeps those feelings inside. Unpredictable avoidance of domestic tasks is a hallmark of a passive-aggressive wife. On the other hand, she always says you don't appreciate her, but she never offers concrete suggestions for how you may improve. Fear of confrontation. If you find yourself avoiding confrontation or tiptoeing around certain topics to avoid setting off your wife's anger or criticism, it's a sign that the power dynamic in your relationship may be skewed. Healthy communication should involve open dialogue and mutual respect, not fear of retaliation. Addressing emotional bullying in a marriage requires courage, compassion, and sometimes outside support. If you recognize any of these signs in your relationship, it's essential to seek help from a therapist, counselor, or trusted confidant who can provide guidance and support. Remember, no one deserves to be subjected to emotional abuse, and taking steps to address the issue is a crucial step toward creating a healthier and more fulfilling relationship. Thanks for watching Motivate My Marriage. Please be sure to like, subscribe and share.